Welcome to the No Dress Code Pod, where we keep it real, celebrate Black excellence, and dive into the things that matter most. Tune in, vibe out, and let's get into it. Welcome to another episode of the No Dress Code Pod. I'm your favorite host, as well as your favorite hoochie, legs out, not open, Bree. And if this is your first time listening, then thank you. If you are a returning guest, then you already know what to say. You already know how I feel about you. Thank you so much. Because without you, where would I be? So you guys already know, before we get the episode started, I need to check in with you, see how you guys are doing, see how your week has been. I hope that you guys are having an amazing week. If you're not, there's nothing I could do for you in this moment, but continue to speak it over you and pray that your week going forward is amazing. But also, if you're not having an amazing week, drop it in the comments and let me know. Like, I'm not having an amazing week. Now, there's nothing I could do for you in this moment, but maybe somebody in the comments will be there for you. Maybe somebody can, turn that frown upside down, turn that week around for you. You never know. So drop it in the comments. Let me know how your week's been. For me, my week, it's been okay. It's been okay. I haven't had any real complaints. I haven't had really any real complaints other than the ones we're gonna talk about in this episode today. Other than that, the week has been good. I just been doing my thing. Okay. I just been doing my thing. Trying to do right, eat right, be right, live right, speak right. That's all I'm trying to do. So I've been having a great week this week, and I hope that it does continue for me as well. Because y'all know these last few months was trying. They was kicking my ass. It was trying. So I hope that, I continue to have an amazing week as well. So if you're watching, today's obviously a solo episode, and you guys can tell by the title what this episode's about. But I do want to, let me just say this, right? Everybody always wants to scream, bet on yourself, bet on yourself. But nobody wants to talk about what it feels like when betting on yourself feels like you just made the worst decision of your life. And you already know what I'm going to say. You already know how I feel. If we're going to talk about it, let's talk about it, okay? Let's talk about it real talk and not like Instagram. Let's not do the Instagram talk. Okay? And what I mean by Instagram talk is, people only show their highlight reels. I said that before. People only show their highlight reels. And I'm guilty of it too. I'll be honest. I'm completely guilty of it too. People only show their highlight reels. So I feel like we should talk about this, and we're talking about this today because the expectation of betting on yourself versus the reality of betting on yourself are two completely different bets. They are two completely different bets. I don't know about y'all, but for me, they are two completely different bets. As y'all know, I've been betting on myself since May 2024. Granted, we started this podcast in August 2023, so I know you're probably thinking, well, how'd you start betting on yourself after you started the podcast? But I was employed. From August to May, I was employed. So I was betting on myself, but I also had that little backup plan. Come May though, I ain't had no more backup plan. It was just me and you and the team and us betting and praying and hoping and knowing that we gonna make it, basically. And when I say it has been a hell of a ride, it has been a hell of a ride. From the day we first published, which would have been August 23rd, 2023, to now. The way this this has not gone any way I could have imagined it to go. Now, granted, I did not expect to drop an episode or even drop 10 and be in the top 100. If I'm being honest, I did expect to grind for a while before I got some momentum, before I got something that I was like, okay, your girl doing it over here, before I got whatever I felt like is my form of acknowledgement or my form of progress or however I feel like I'm tracking my own metrics type of thing. Whoo, baby, they not tell you. Okay, the struggle is real. Um the first real struggle I dealt with betting on myself is consistency. It is hard. It is hard. I understand. I know like it is hard to stay consistent. It does not matter in my opinion how much you love a thing. It is hard to stay consistent when you feel like that thing is not giving you the results that you feel like you should have for the point that you are in your life. Like it is hard. Um Consistency just ain't easy, period. I understand we have lives. Most of y'all have jobs. A lot of y'all got kids. Half y'all got spouses. Some of y'all got pets. You know, and you got to juggle all that, family, friends, all that, just your own personal time. So it's hard to stay consistent. But I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you and say consistency hasn't paid off for me yet, because it has. There's been little progress. I'm working my way up. I'm working my way up. I'm literally one episode away from everybody saying they knew I could make it. They knew I was gonna make it. They knew I was gonna be big, and they knew I was gonna be where I'm gonna be. I'm literally one episode away. I'm speaking over myself. I'm speaking into existence, however you want to call it. But I'm literally one episode away. It may not be the next episode, but I am one episode away, and you can mark my words on that one. Um, but yeah, consistency has been the hardest thing. Um, Making sure that I'm recording every week. If not, I have episodes lined up back to back. Ooh, and that is the best. That when I getting these episodes out, that has been a struggle. It's not as easy as people think. Like just set up a camera and hit record. It is, but it's not. You still gotta edit. You still gotta upload. You still gotta post reels. You still gotta promo. Like you still gotta do all the behind the scenes stuff. I don't know how big y'all team is, but you still gotta do all the behind the scenes stuff. Baby, I'm not gonna say I wasn't prepared because I literally, like I said, I had got to a point where I was like, all right, I'm not even gonna do it. Cause the person that I was wanting to do it with, it didn't work out. So I was like, I'm not even gonna do it. But then, like I said, I had this gnawing voice in my head. And I feel like it was God. And I say it was God. And I had, God just gnawing at me basically. Like, how can this be your dream? How can this really be what you want to say what you said you wanted to do if you're not willing to do it? You said you wanted to do it. Yo, this other person ain't really said they wanted to do it. I mean, not in the way you want to do it. Baby, if you don't, you know, he had to snatch me up by my collar and tell me, like, baby, if you don't get it together, this is what you said you wanted to do. Show me you want to do it. So, baby, consistency has been the hardest thing. finding guests, if not guests, and solo episodes, thinking of topics that, I enjoy talking about, that I can talk about, that y'all would enjoy listening to my opinion on, or, whatever the case may be. Um so yeah, that's been the hardest thing. Um my honestly, I know I said my first real struggle was consistency, and it is, and it was, and it is. Yeah, yeah. I had other struggles, but yeah, my first real struggle was consistency. Making sure we put out when we said we were gonna put out, at the time we said we were gonna put out. And if we did not put it out, we let y'all know ahead of time it's not coming out, or why it's not coming out, or whatever the case may be. One thing about people, and I know, I don't care who you are, I don't care where you are, I don't care about your status. One thing about people, them people out there will sell you the fucking dream, baby, and never tell you about that goddamn struggle. Like, baby, unless you somehow blew up overnight, unless you somehow just woke up one day and said, "Oh, I want to sing. I know how to sing. I'm putting this out," and boom, you just blew up overnight. Baby, I know you struggled to get to where you are. And that could be mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, um, romantically. Like, that could be in a whole bunch of different ways, baby, but I know you struggled to get to where you are. And if you didn't, and if you came up overnight, then let me know how to do it. Let me know. Put me on, okay? Put your girl on to something. Because when you tell people, "Oh, like, I have a dream, I have a passion, I have a this, I have a that, I want to start doing, X, Y, and Z," um, a lot of times people don't really know what goes on behind the scenes of X, Y, and Z that you want to do, right? Because a lot of times it's unique to you. Like, I don't know if anybody around me, there probably is, that I'm not really thinking about offhand. I don't know if there's anybody around me that could have sat me down and been like, "All right, you want a successful podcast? This is what you do: A, B, C, D," and worked me all the way down to Z. YouTube account, possibly, possibly. I know of you who could have possibly put me on to how to work the YouTube algorithm, but my goal isn't to be more of a YouTuber. So, not saying, not saying don't tune into these videos, and not saying we're not posting every week on YouTube. But yeah, I don't think I'm a YouTuber though. I think I post videos on YouTube. If that makes me a YouTuber, then so be it. But yeah, I know people who could have taught me, how to build that successful YouTube page. I'm sure there are people around me who could have. You know, the thing about it is, a lot of times people just tell you to start. Like, and I remember when I first considered this, and I was like, and it got to that point where I was like, okay, I'm gonna do this alone. Do this alone. I was talking to somebody, and I was like, so what do you think? You think I'm bullshitting? Like, you think I'm bullshitting? And they was just like, baby, I don't understand why you ain't started yet. You have the equipment. You got what you need to do. You may not have like a studio, but baby, I don't understand why you haven't started yet. And at first, in my mind, I was like, man, fuck you, right? You don't know shit. And to a certain extent, it is like that. Fuck you, you don't know shit. But also to the other, on the flip side of that same coin, it's like, do you know shit, or am I just Am I, how do I put it? Am I just making excuses for myself? Now, granted, there probably is a lot more going on behind the scenes that you don't know about, and that could be why I haven't started. But to a certain extent, I probably am just making excuses, and you just called me out on my bullshit. So but that's like everybody tells you to just start, but nobody really can give you the blueprint on how to start. Like nobody, especially when I first started doing my podcast, nobody knew how to upload it to get to Apple and to get to Spotify and to get to Google. Um YouTube, yeah, almost everybody knew how to do that one, but nobody knew about the Apple, the Spotify. I talked to one person and he just happened to be in the music industry as well as some other things, but he was like, "You need to have this type of thing. You need to have this. You have to have that." And so I figured it out. I figured it out, and I got it going. And I once I did that, I kind of was like, all right, this is it. There's no real turning back. Well, there is turning back, but there's no real turning back. Another thing people don't always, I think people understand sometimes, like the finances of betting on yourself, especially in fucking 2025. Especially in fucking 2025. Do you hear me? Like everything is fucking expensive at this point. Your dreams are fucking expensive. I don't care if you dream to have a soft life, because baby, I dream to have a soft life as well, but it is expensive. I dream for me and my whole bloodline to have a soft life. Yeah, I don't want none of my kids working if they ain't got to. I mean, call it what you want to call it. If you don't have to, I really don't want you to. It's just one of them things. Who really wants to work, and why would I want that for you as my child? Like, it just doesn't make sense to me. But I think the only thing people in today's age register with is the emotional cost of betting on yourself. But like I said, there's a physical cost. I'm up all night, up all day, because I'm saying but this really y'all. I gotta work. Um, I probably got kids to take care of. I got a spouse to take care of. Um, you know, that takes a toll on your body physically. Like not getting enough sleep. I'm not eating enough. I'm not doing my usual workouts. Literally like running on fumes, which then which then plays a part in your mental. Cause then it's like, am I doing enough? Am I present enough? Do my friends feel like I'm there enough for them? Do my family feel like I'm there enough for them? Are people feeling neglected? And it's just like, on top of that, did I do enough for my business today? Did I do enough for my hobby? Did I do enough for my passion? Did I do enough for betting on me today? Did I do enough for me today? And I know I said I would do that one project next week. It's not due till, next week, but maybe I should do it today because I have other projects lined up after that. And I just don't want to stress myself out when it comes closer to the due date. Like, betting on myself has been one of the most hardest things I've ever had to do. Has been one of the most humbling things I've ever had to do. Um, I look at myself now, and I look at myself 5, 10 years ago, and I'm like, baby, the way I would have never seen this coming. Would have never seen this coming. From not even just the person, not even just betting on myself did I see coming in this way. Because I knew that I didn't want to work for somebody for the rest of my life. I just knew that. I didn't know how it was gonna work, but I knew I didn't want to work for somebody for the rest of my life. But the personal bet that I took and the price that I'm paying, baby, I never would have thought 10 years ago that this would be how it has all played out. Um, as much as I love it, and because I don't want to sound like I'm discouraging you guys from betting on yourself. It is truly the best thing you could do. As much as I love it, and as much as I would not trade this for anything in the world, um, except for already pre-made, pre-designed, the way I would like it, the way I would envision this soft life. It does. It just the beating that you take emotionally, mentally, and all the leads, you have to be prepared. You have to be strong, baby, cuz it is not easy. It is not easy. It is a day by day, brick by brick.
I built this shit. Me. Brick by brick.
And if you don't get up and do it, more than likely it probably ain't gonna get done.
I'll be damned if I let you tear it down just because you don't like the way another nigga talk.
I don't have no kids, but I promise you, betting on yourself is like, it was like raising a kid. Because if you don't do it, baby, it's not gonna get done. It's not gonna get done. Whatever it is that you are doing to bet on yourself, if you don't do it, baby, it's not going to get done. I can damn near tell you that. Yeah. I don't know if y'all know Tabitha. I know y'all know Tabitha Brown. I don't know if y'all know her story, which I feel like you should if you know who she is, but on how she got started. And baby, when I tell you, chef's kiss, Tabitha Brown is definitely someone who, in my opinion, feels like they came out overnight. But I was literally watching the show a while ago. Can't remember the show. I was watching the show and she was in it. And Tabitha was young. Okay, she was in her 20s and 30s. Tabitha was young. So that tells me baby been putting in work. Baby been working behind the scenes for years. We're just now catching up to her. But baby been working. But speaking of my own self, I honest to God, we have been podcasting consistently, let's just say since September, right? September of 2024 to now we're in March 2025. So 7 months. Okay, so the rebrand of this show, I feel like gives me what I thought the original drop would do. And what I mean by that is when I first came out, I had it was a bunch of solo episodes. You already know it was a bunch of solo episodes. I finally started getting guests, and thankful to y'all. Shout out to y'all. 100% would love to have y'all back on if y'all want to come back on, and I know y'all do. So I had a bunch of guests. I literally had the expectation of a certain guest reaching certain numbers. And honestly, they didn't reach it. They didn't reach what I thought they would reach, at least. And my rebrands So September to January, September to March, I had an episode in January that did way better than I expected it to do. Like way better than I expected to do as far as like views go. And it's just like it was just the little confirmation that told me maybe you in the right path. You doing the right thing. Like slow and steady wins the race. Slow drip in a rock create a hole. Okay. I don't know how that saying really go, but if you Southern or you got a Southern grandmother, I feel like you know what I'm talking about. Don't play with me. It's close enough. But me, honestly, me not getting the results I wanted in the beginning was discouraging, and it was like, well, damn, maybe I'm not doing the right thing. Maybe this isn't for me. But again, like I said, I stayed consistent. I kept pushing. In January of 2025, we had an episode that did amazing numbers. That let me know that this is what we're supposed to be doing, and it may not be like thousands or millions. I'm not gonna tell you which one it is, so y'all can go check them out, all of them, and then y'all figure it out which one did well. But it did better than I expected, and that's all I care about. And I don't know about y'all, but I celebrate the little things when it comes to me. Any little thing is a celebration for me. Like I be so excited, so happy. So that's just me. Like I may not outwardly share everything cuz like I said, I feel like people don't always have the best intentions for you and sharing good stuff all the time. I don't want nobody speaking negatively over my life, my goals, my dreams. Although I do feel like what is for me is for me and can't nobody stop that. But I'm also not gonna give you the opportunity to either. So, um, yeah, we celebrate. I celebrated. I did a little dancey dance, little two step, a little 1 2. Um, because that's important. So I want to ask you guys a question, and I'll answer the question myself. If you knew the process would take 5 years before you saw success, would you start? And I think that's an awesome question because I remember when I was listening to an Ice Cube, I think it was Ice Cube interview, clip of it, Ice Cube interview, and he was basically like, if you're not willing to dedicate 5 years of your life to something, then don't even start. Like, because it's gonna take at least 5 years to get off the ground, to, do what you really wanted to do, to see some real type of progress, I guess. And baby, when I tell you I heard that, seen that, whatever, I want to say before I started this podcast officially. And baby, we're in March. We are 5 months away from year 2 being in the books. Would I started all over again? I would. I would. I probably just would have started 5 years earlier. I love this. I'm not even gonna sit here and lie to you. I love this. I love talking to y'all. I love y'all coming and talking to me. I love being open and vulnerable. I don't give y'all my diary vibes. Um, but I love sprinkle a little of my life in here for y'all. Telling y'all about me a little bit, a little bit. But not too much. Not too much. Keep it cute. Not too much. Um, so I would definitely start again. I would just start probably 5 years earlier or 5 or more years earlier. Cause baby, when I tell you me and God locked in on this plan, me and God locked in, he grabbed me up, he snatched me up by my neck, by my collar. We locked in about this one. You know how people, dogs, and I don't know about you know how dogs be carrying them puppies in their mouths by the like fat of their skin? Yeah, that's what God did to me. Snatched me right the fuck up. And let me know. So yeah, we almost 2 years down. You think I wouldn't do this again? Yeah, I most definitely would. There is a loneliness, I will admit, with going against the grain and betting on yourself. People, a lot of times, a lot of fucking times, will support the idea, but will not support the fucking execution. Like, they will support the idea of you saying, "Oh, I'm starting a podcast. I'm doing this. I'm posting on YouTube. I'm doing that. It's going to be here. It's going to be there." But baby, the minute you drop that link that's posted, that reel that's shared, baby, it be crickets. Crickets. Like, it be crickets. Like, shit is free. It's free to share. You don't even have to really listen. You can listen to the shit on mute. You can let this shit play in the background on fucking mute and do what you gotta do. Like, people support the idea but do not support the execution. And I don't want to always say it's because people want you to be great but not greater than them. Because I know we've all heard that. People want you to be great but not greater than them. But baby, like, support the execution. Support the execution. The same way y'all support these companies that don't even know y'all, don't really fuck with y'all. Support the ones who do know y'all. Who is fucking with y'all. Who is showing up to y'all kids' events. Who is showing up to y'all events. Because goddamn, the support from you is free. Stop playing with me. Stop playing with me. If everybody you knew told at least one person, and that one person told one person, baby, do you know how well your business could be doing? Do you know how big you would be? But people don't think like that. People, they really, yeah, they do want you to be great, but they don't want you to be greater than them. And it's like, we got the same 24 hours. I'm just trying to work my 24 hours a little differently than you trying to work yours. Meaning, I'm trying to work for myself and you trying to work for somebody else, and that's fine. That's fine. I wholeheartedly don't knock nobody who got a 9 to 5. Quiet as a cat, the bitch need one now. So I don't knock nobody who work a 9 to 5. But that's not my life goal, is all I'm saying. Betting on yourself, depending on what your bet is, depending on what you're doing, baby, when I tell you you will be isolated, you're going to have to isolate. You're going to have to get away from people from time to time. And isolation, unfortunately, breeds self-doubt. Isolation, unfortunately, sometimes breeds self-doubt because nobody's clapping for you in the middle. They clap for you when you first start. Oh, yay. Hold on. They clap for you when you first start. They don't clap for you in the middle. They do clap for you again when you get to the end. When you make it, they big whooping. Okay, when you make it, they big whooping over there. But in that middle part, when it's just you and God, it's just you and your bet, it's just you and your dream, baby, it brings so much self-doubt. You be like, am I really supposed to be doing this? Is this really for me? Should I just quit? Should I just give up? Maybe I'm doing something wrong. Maybe I'm not doing something right. Like, if this is what you want, I don't care what it is. I don't care what it is, baby. Give it your all. Give it your all because you only got one life to live. You're only going to experience life this way one time. Give it your all. Because one thing about betting on yourself and one thing about taking that step and just give it everything, all you got, is you will take so many losses before you ever get that win. You will take so many losses before you ever get that win. That is the price of leveling up. It some days it feel like, God damn, I can't catch a break. But I also look at those days and be like, all right, one day I'm gonna look back on this and be like, that was shaping me, that was molding me, that was helping me become who I needed to be to get what I wanted to get. Cause there are gonna be points in life, in your journey, and I know because I'm speaking from my own, personal experience, that you're not quite yet successful in whatever way you deem to be successful. You're not quite yet successful, but you're too deep in to just give up. Like, I'm not where I want to be, but I didn't put in too much work to just say fuck it. Like, I know y'all seen that picture, and if I find it, I'll include it, of like the two miners. And one is like so close to the diamonds, and he just turns around and gives up. And another guy is like still going. Yeah, because you never know how fucking close you are. You are too fucking deep to give up. You didn't put in too much work. Baby, we didn't spend too much money. Then lost too many relationships. Then had too many breakdowns. You've sacrificed too much to give up. You gotta find, when you feel like you want to give up, you have to find something that really pushes you forward. That you have to find your motivation, your reason behind doing this, your your whole purpose. You got to find it, because there's going to be times where you want to quit. There's going to be times where you don't want to do this anymore. There's been times where I've wanted to quit. Again, it's probably before I started, but I wanted to quit. I thought about quitting. And when my car got broken into, we took that break from February to, I don't know, however long the break was. When we took that break, um, I'm not gonna say I was quitting. In my mind, I hadn't quit. I just was going through a lot, and I really didn't know when I was coming back. I knew I wanted to come back, but I didn't know when. I didn't know how. I didn't, it wasn't even a difficult choice. It was just more so, I don't know when, I don't know how. I don't know what to do. And again, God got in my ear. God snatched me up in my collar and said, "Girl, I'm not gonna keep telling you. You said this is what you wanted to do. You said this is what's making you happy, baby. If you don't get the fuck back on the mic."
Drive, motherfucker!
Cause me and God, we homies now. We working on our relationship. We homies. So he told me, he snatched me on my collar and told me to get back to work, because if I wasn't doing this, I didn't know what I was gonna do. I didn't really see anything else for me. I mean, have I ventured into other aspects? Yeah, I have. I've dabbled in other things now since starting this podcast. And they're not quite as lucrative yet, but I see them panning out. So, it's not a backup plan. It's just in addition to. In addition to. It's not a backup plan. Because really, there is no backup plans. There's no backup plans. The hardest thing, I think, also another hard thing about betting on yourself is you look at people, and it can be through social media, it could be through TV, it could be in person. And you feel like there are times, and I don't even want to say you being a hater, because I feel like, as humans we just naturally feel this, or, naturally have this emotion from time to time, where you look at somebody and you be like, I know my shit is 10 times better than yours, but it's not adding up. And I'm not saying that to downplay your success, because you have worked for whatever it is you have that I may necessarily want. But I just feel like I'm better. I feel like, I should be where you are. And shit, it don't work like that. Okay. I may feel like I have more talent. I may feel like, or you may feel like you have more talent and you should be better than, further than where you are, further than where I am, or, whatever the case may be. But baby, consistency. Just fuck that. Comparison, the thing I learned, comparison is the thief of joy. Stop comparing your journey, your struggle, your path to somebody else. That's what I learned. Stop comparing it, because you don't know what they had to do, what they had to sacrifice to get what they have and where they are. So yeah, we could feel at times that we have more talent than somebody else and they're just ahead of us, but I mean, honestly, talent consistency beats talent sometimes, and talent doesn't, work. Work beats talent, or something like that. Hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard, or something like that. Y'all know the phrase. If y'all know the phrase, then y'all can figure it out. But it's close enough. Y'all get what I'm trying to say. Yeah, you just can't compare yourself to other people's journey, other people's struggles, because you really don't know what it is they had to go through. You really don't know what it is that they had to sacrifice. Um, and honestly, baby, let me tell you something. You probably don't want to walk 2 feet in their shoes. When I say you will be grateful for the path that you have been on and the path that you had to take, because it's going to get you to wherever it is you want to be, you're going to be so fucking grateful. Like, granted, there are people I look at, and there have been people in the past that I've looked at and be like, God damn, what's the difference between me and you? And I'd be like, you know what? The difference is probably consistency. The difference is probably that's your journey and this is my journey. And um, I probably don't want to walk 2 miles, 2 feet, 2 steps in your shoes. I don't know what you had to do to sacrifice to get here. I don't know anything about your journey, and low key, that's belittling. I'm not even sitting here and hold y'all. That's literally belittling, and it's low key offensive. Cause the fuck you mean you more talented than me, and you wondering how I'm here and you not. Bitch, I worked to get here. That's how I'm here. You know. So I want to ask you guys. I know I've been asking y'all a lot of questions this episode, but I'm gonna ask y'all a question again anyway. So right now, are you in a setback, or are you in the process? Because they feel the same, but they're not. They feel the same, but they're not. And the process is a beautiful thing. It's not pretty, but it is beautiful. That shit be ugly. Again, you will be in tears. You will be broke. You will be happy. You will be low. You will be sad. You will be, financially funded. Some days you'll be financially unfunded. Whatever you do, just don't quit. Because honestly and truly, most people quit right before they make it. And let me tell you, that's why I won't quit. That's why you won't catch me quitting. Because I feel like if I quit, really my next episode was gonna be the one that blew up. In my mind, that's what I'm telling everybody. Like, Oh no, I couldn't do no more episodes because my next one was about to blow the fuck up, and I just couldn't handle the way that was gonna take my life. Like, you're crazy as a fuck. There's no way I'm quitting. Like, that's why I hope y'all don't quit either. Whatever it is you doing to bet on yourself, whatever it is, baby, I hope you don't quit because that right before you quit, that was the one thing that was gonna take you to the next level. 100%. Um, because the people who win, honestly, the people who win in life are not the people who were the best at what the fuck they did. It's because they did not stop. They were committed. They did not stop. In order to honestly, in order to win, in order to win, you have to be able to commit and you have to be able to adapt. So for me, I've been, we started off about us, and we have somewhat changed the trajectory of our episodes, and we talk about a lot of different things. Um Sports, health, mental health, relationships, where we should and should not be spending our money, but really that's on y'all because what you shit don't make me what you eat don't make me shit. So um you know yeah, so we've had a lot of different conversations, and the thing I'm learning is I have to learn to adjust. Although again, this podcast is my podcast and I control this shit. I run this shit. I own this. Um CEO, COO, and CEO. No, I'm just like I have to learn to adapt. I had to learn to, maybe this topic isn't resonating that well with my core audience. So let me steer away from conversations like this, or let me steer away from this topic in particular as of right now. Um, Maybe I'll double back on it later. Maybe I'll circle back onto it, down the line. We'll see. But um or this resonates well with my audience. So maybe I should continue to go down this path and, talk more about this and talk more about that. Um it's a tricky slope, you know. But learning to be committed and learning to adapt and make changes is what is going to make sure that I win for sure. It makes sure that you win. That your bet is not in vain. Like I said, I had an episode that did extremely well for the point up until now. Right? So for where we are up until now in this point in our journey. And baby, when I tell you that I seen that and I said, "Oh baby, girl, you it. Okay, you're really that girl. You really are these people's favorite podcast host and favorite hoochie. Okay? Can't nobody tell you different. You're really that girl." And when I say that just motivated me even more, it just motivated me even more. I don't care if I got to be up till 4 o'clock in the morning on Wednesday to make sure that that episode is put out by 6, baby. It's going to be put out on time. Yes, I don't play them games. We're making sure that we are putting our episodes out on time. Cause y'all just showed me that, y'all really like me a little bit. And I'm gonna keep that going with y'all. Cause I kinda like y'all a little bit too. I seen this thing, I said, oh, okay, let me rephrase that. I was watching the show and this lady said, sometimes people's rejection is God's protection. And baby, that's not the first time I heard it, but it was like it really resonated with me in that moment. And I'm low key to go get it tatted because sometimes people's rejection is God's protection. Baby, failure is nothing but feedback. That's all it is. It's letting you know what you need to do better and where you need to improve. It does not mean give up. It is not a stop sign. It is a slow your roll, baby. You just need to adjust on this. That's it. That's all. Take off running after you make the adjustment. Um, and I think we need to discuss somewhat how we're tracking failure or what you define as failure. Because how are you even tracking your progress? Um, I think as people, sometimes we focus more so on the bad instead of the good. Track your progress. Whatever it is you're doing that's making you bet on yourself, like me. I may track my views, the click through impressions, how long somebody stayed on the episode, the comments, the thumbs up, thumbs down. Like I be tracking, I be checking, I be trying to see what y'all talking about, who y'all liking, what y'all liking. And that's how I know, like, are we on the right path or are we not on the right path? Do I need to adjust again? Or did we adjust right properly and now it's just time to take off? You just whatever it is you're doing, you just gotta stop comparing and just start documenting your process. Cause that's really the only way you're gonna see, like, oh no, like, yeah, this person may be ahead of me, but I'm further than I was last week, or I'm further than I was 2 weeks ago, or last year. Like, document your fucking process, Bookie. Document it. And remember that motivation will fade. I know you have all the momentum in the beginning to keep going, to start going, to just to just take off like Shakari Richardson. Um, just take off, and baby, motivation fades. Okay, you have to make sure that you have the habits to keep going. I heard somewhere that it takes 3 weeks to make or break a habit. Do with that what you may. The motivation fades. Keep the habits. Make good habits. Make make a habit to take a step towards the bet on you every day. Because once again, if you don't, who is? If you don't, who is? You can also start, or you should start creating your own milestones. Like for me and NDC, our first milestone was like the 10th episode, really. After the first, of course. It was like the 10th episode, but then it was really like I think 10 or 11 or 12 or something like that. Cause I had read an article that said majority of podcasts drop off by their like 21st, something like that, episode or something like that. So it was whatever that number was. It was like 10 and then that number. Cause it was like, dang, if I could make it to this, and I could really make it. Like, and I started recording and I was like, oh yeah, I don't see how people drop off. And then baby, I got close to that number and I said, oh yeah. Yeah, I see how people drop off. And it's like a low number. It's not even, I think it's like in between 10 and like 25. It's really such a low number if you think about it. Like, it really is such a low number. And I was just like, if I can make it to this number, baby, I can make it. And I made it. And now our next little micro celebration will be 50 episodes, which we are on the way on the way to. We are shortly there, coming up real quick. 50, 75, and 100 for sure. That means I got plans. I got plans to make it to 100. I feel like if I make it to 50, baby, we're making it to 100. No issues. Making it to 100 for sure. That's how I document my progress and see where I'm going and how I'm feeling. And one thing that has kept me going in this whole journey is I truly love what I do. I truly feel like I could make this a living and not even just benefit financially from it. Although, I do gotta live. I do gotta eat. I do gotta survive. So yeah. But I feel like this is something I could really do. Like this is really my career. Like I'm just taking the steps necessary. This is my interview, so to speak. These are my interview days. These are my trial days. Because when y'all see me on the big screen, whatever the big screen looks like to us, when y'all see me on the big screen, y'all gonna be like, she passed the interview. She aced the audition. That was for her. And that's what I'm talking about. Because it is. It is. And I'm gonna be everywhere that I wanna be. I promise. Myself, I promise you. We're gonna be everywhere that we supposed to be. Period. So, but before I let you guys go, to tie everything back together, this episode, this isn't just about success; it's about resilience. Success is great, but you have to be built for it. So, ask yourself: are you really betting on yourself? Or are you just saying it because it sounds good? Also, you guys can let me know in the comments if you wanted to answer any of these questions that I asked you guys in the episode. I will also leave them in the description box so that you can read them. If you guys want to answer any of those questions and drop them in the comments, I would greatly appreciate it. We would greatly listen to it. And I would possibly, if it's okay with you, bring it into the episode. I know we haven't had a Reddit in a while. Yeah, we haven't had a Reddit in a while, but I want to say next week we'll have another Reddit for you guys. And before I let you guys go, for real this time, I want to say stay in the game because you never know how close you really are. Don't you dare give up. You betting on you. I will see you guys in next week's episode. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to share. Don't forget to tell a friend, to tell a friend, to tell a friend to pull up. Because they're going to love it here just like you do. And I'll see you in next week's episode. Bye. You're still here? You know the show's over, right? Don't cry. We'll be back next week. I gotta go be a hoochie. In the meantime, catch up on the older episodes.